Okay, so here's the thing. I thought that talk about this season of Fortnite in general and my thoughts on it. So first and foremost, expectations, I guess. Um, this is a summer season. Epic goes on a vacation during summer. Typically, these seasons are kind of crap, honestly. And this one is, of course, no different. I mean, like the idea by itself is flawed. Like, if anyone has played Fortnite and knows how awful the handling of cars is, the idea of a season centering about cars just on that level sounds bad. Then you think, oh yeah, let's put cow catchers on them. Yeah, that's just gonna make builds really really fun. Uh, let's put attachments that give you weapons. That's gonna be so much fun. Let's make the mythic cars because they are a thing now. Just regenerate at first. So basically, the end game devolves into a bunch of people driving in a car in circles and shooting everyone else. Oh, that's outside of the glitch where you could become invincible and just wait out the storm till everyone else dies. That was also a thing. Yeah, and speaking of glitches, it was actually quite a decent season by summer standards. Outside of the invincibility glitch, there was just a glitch where you couldn't really be at the desert biome for a little bit of time. Specifically on PC, it was fixed really, really fast though. So I guess I can't really complain much about that because normally when this sort of stuff would happen, where you would have like a platform-specific game-breaking bug where the game would become unplayable, you'd just wait a day and the next day you'd get a patch. It would be like about a day of waiting. Maybe slightly less, but like once you round it up, it's basically a whole day and not like, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours or something like that. It was crazy fast. Um yeah, speaking of that, maybe some stuff that happened recently. The Fall Guys collab. I mean, it's a thing, really basic obstacle course in BR, a little bit of a gimmick. So hey, this thing exists. Not too offensive, quite easy to get around. Doesn't take that many tries to like get the best possible score on it and get the best loot, which is quite mid, honestly. I mean, I guess for pubs it's acceptable. Thankfully, it's not outside of pubs. I was worried, like when it comes to Fall Guys stuff, right? That the amount of effort they would have to put into skins. Let me select a map here. To have a whole collection of beans would be massive, but I think they did just prefabs. And I know if like the picking of the parts was tuned by hand or not, but these seem fairly low effort, so I am happy that they are not trying to go overboard. Because I was worried that this is going to be another Lego situation where they're going to say, oh, it includes a bean style, and they're going to lower the amount of edit styles you get, and possibly even use this as an excuse to put the price up of skins. I think that this trend should stop because, I mean, this is effort. This is entire teams. Probably this is probably Platonic being forced to basically do this with that effort, where it could go towards literally anything else. I wouldn't be surprised if the fact that this is a thing was smothering, Fall Guys. If you are into that game for some reason, I think there's no interrupt between Fall Guys and this game, either way. Uh, so yeah, there was a mini event, a little bit overhyped. It was maybe with the voice lines, maybe 20 seconds worth of an event, just the lead up to the next season. And typically these don't have a timer. They're just hinted at that they're gonna happen sometime, and then that's it. So I would say a little bit overhyped. I had my hopes down, but I saw people be disappointed. It also sucked that you couldn't really witness it properly because people would drop out that place and just kill you. That happened to me. I was walking with a pickaxe out. That really sucked. Gives me chapter 1 vibes. You'd think that Epic figured out not to do this stuff back in like 2018, but no, not applicable. So that's that. One of the questions that this season brings to me is the target audience. I mean, Metallica season. I can't think of a young person that is into Metallica. I can't think of a young person that's into the Mad Max stuff they've done in BR. It feels like this is a game made by middle-aged executives, or even older, for themselves because they put the IP they want. Oh, I want to collaborate with this band. I want to collaborate with this brand. I want to collaborate with this or that thing. I want to put this superhero as a skin in Fortnite. and that's that. It feels like what Vibing was, because again, Vibing, Chapter 3, Season 3 was the last season that Donald Mustard worked on. And from what I understand, he got things like Darth Vader and the Battle Pass just because he wanted them. It's like, yeah, this is my parting gift. And then Chapter 3, Season 4 was basically the attempt to clean up that lasted the whole of Chapter 4. This is the new Fortnite, under the Chen, I think, leadership, and it's just brand deals. It is absolutely getting milked. So yeah, the target audience, I don't get it. I'm gonna get into some of that later. And yeah, the amount of just collaborations is absolutely insane. I from my list, Metallica got like a shit ton of stuff. The Battle Royale stuff, including the island, the Ride the Lightning movement item, uh, you know, a whole festival pass and a festival season with a whole set of skins and a season pass that I'll get into later. Um, they had a track on rocket racing. They had a creative event with multiple rounds just to maximize the amount of people who could see it and do that. No, I've recorded it if anyone's interested. Then you have all of the other slop that they've put out. You had the Pirates of the Caribbean mini pass because you know I can't get enough of that corporate slop down my throat. You have the whole X-Men thingy, the Deadpool, Wolverine, cape shit stuff. You have Lethal Company. Yeah, I get it. It's like an indie game, but still, it is basically a collab. It is an ad you pay for. That's how I see it. And yeah, Marvel had like an expensive pack somewhere in the other shop. I don't even know if it's up yet. Doesn't matter, but it feels like it's being milked. The item shop. Actually, let me open up the item shop right now. The length on actually, let me put it on BR so it's representative of the usual shop because the order changes these days, and there's gonna be less stuff for festival, less lines of it. Okay, Star Wars, 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 Star Wars. Oh, now we're going to OG skins. Let's go. X-Men. Oh, another collab. I'm like 8 lines into it. Nike. Like 4 lanes, 2 lanes for Billie Eilish. You have this signature style stuff, which is actual Fortnite stuff. Oh, hey, Lace is in the item shop here. Some more of that stuff, including the ordered cutlass from the ordered kit. You have some older skins. Okay, level up pack. Perfectly fine, understandable. A way to get skins. Uh, festival stuff. The These are actually somewhat reasonably priced because these are not collaborative items. Then you have like 3 lines of this. Metallica. It doesn't have the hero image this time, but normally you'd have like a hero image for this one, and then you'd scroll down. Okay. Okay, another listing for Metallica. Cars. This is a collaborative thing, and other parts of it. The Cybertruck gets its whole hero image despite it having been free, but they want 2,800 V-Bucks for this, which is absolutely insane. Um, you have more stuff, and then you have are these Pirates of the Caribbean? Vaguely related at the very least, at least implied brand collaboration here, or like brand synergy BS. If you want to do full-on corpo speak. Okay, crew, perfectly understandable. And then you have the paid bundles, and there's like holy. Remember, you cannot buy these with V-Bucks. They have a fixed cost, so you better have Nintendo points or Epic points to get a discount on them if you want it. And yeah, like look at this price. It's absolutely insane. That's like 40 bucks. That's absolutely bonkers. Another $40 pack from Marvel. Like, are you kidding me? It's absolutely insane. Just scrolling through the item shop is getting exhausting with the amount of stuff you have to go through. Like, look, the list itself doesn't fit on my screen here. And this is like a scaled UI as far as I know, so it doesn't really matter. On Switch, it might be even worse because they're gonna crank up the font size on handheld, I assume. It is absolutely bonkers. Just going through the item shop and trying to keep track of what's new and what isn't is exhausting. And the item order changing is also annoying. From other things that I can complain about the item shop, if I open up Jam Tracks, I wouldn't be able to start. I don't want to open it because content ID. I don't want to. I don't want to get a claim on this thing. So that's that. The item shop is a disaster at the moment. It is getting physically exhausting to scroll through it. The updates were fairly spread out. The content drought wasn't that bad. Bosses and mythics. I mean, yeah, they basically reintroduced existing weapons. Basically, hey, we gave ourselves more work. Let's pat ourselves on the back because we brought back weapons that have existed in Fortnite since basically what you would call OG days by today's standards, like the combat shotgun or the tactical AR or the combat AR. The TAC might have existed last season. I don't remember. It doesn't matter though. Um, Bus scars were a thing. Basically the same idea as modern approach to mythics, but the regenerating health thing was bonkers at the beginning. These scars were basically the meta, especially considering that that was also a thing in rank. It was absolutely bonkers. So yeah, that's that. Then I can, I guess, get into festival. Honestly, I don't really vibe with the season with like what's on the store. No, sorry, not on the store. What's the theme? What the stage looks like? It's mid. I don't really enjoy Metallica music, and the stage just looks drab as a result because oh desert, ooh. It's mid. It's mid in that regard. But here's the thing: there was variety in songs. The charts were consistently good. This is like the really the first season where the chart quality was on point. There weren't those drops where you'd have like 2 or 3 drops in a row of absolutely awful charts like you had last season, like the Glapshido one. The Cheap Thrills was like a really bad chart. I remember in particular that was also annoying. Uh, so that's one of those things. Battle stage exists. I'd say it's quite basic. It's quite basic. I wish they would give you information as to which chart is the hardest for farming points if you're just like a sweat trying to, catch W's left and right. It's quite annoying. Um, Again, first season of that, they typically launch a rough MVP because balancing games is tough. Like I know that you basically cannot balance a game. It's just like, okay, we're just gonna keep trying on adjusting the knobs till it works, and then we had something. Yeah. Time to rebalance everything. Just hope it doesn't end up like as much of a disaster as Paladins, where they have champions that they haven't updated in a long time, and they are basically irrelevant in the meta because they are so underpowered. After everyone else was getting buffs after buffs, so yeah, if they keep it lean, I guess they could make it work. The meta evolved after a little bit, especially as matchmaking worked its way because it seems to have gotten matchmaking over the course of this festival season. So yeah, again, yeah, the meta thing is basically picking the hardest chart, playing it, and then it's just timing your overdrives right. When no one is attacking you, and when you have the enemy has a hard section and you have a bunch of notes, or just to keep the lead against other people if you're front running basically like on the going on the first place. And yeah, also I managed to get my riff master. It's really tough for me to play. Playing on a plastic guitar is way different than playing on a keyboard because suddenly you have to shift your whole hand to switch lanes. I am struggling with it a ton, but it seems to work. I haven't noticed any strumming related glitches in Festival in particular, so I guess they fixed it since season 3. I've seen SI playing with a controller pretending to be a keyboard on a PS5 today. It was really cool. Supposedly even Whammy can work that way. That's really nice as a thing that you know the game is accessible even with older guitars. Um, that like as for my thoughts on the Riffmaster, I think based on my use of one guitar for basically a couple of hours, I am probably a Guitar Hero person when it comes to like the guitar design. I really struggle to feel which frets my fingers are on when they are basically trying to be as stealth as possible. The frets by themselves they feel okay. I mean they are rubber domes, but they are like really, really good rubber domes. The non-clicky strandbar though, nah, nah. If good modkits drop, I am probably like insta modding my Riftmaster. I could talk about the driver stuff relating to Riftmaster, but that would be more of a thing about Windows by itself than anything else based on my, personal experiences. Should also try if Riftmaster works on Switch, but I highly doubt it. Um, you know, Unreal doesn't even support keyboard and mice on Switch, from what I understand. Um, Other stuff, Rocket Racing, as boring as ever. It's just gotten less glitchy. They pushed out a couple of tracks, including the one lap Metallica track, which I don't like. I don't vibe with the idea of racing games having like a single lane you go down and that's your whole race and you just have sections in it. Like for example, Mario Kart did that. I think starting in 7 in particular. Not my thing, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, they had a jam track that's exclusive. You have to play. I think you can still do it. Let me actually validate my claim here by Epic Rocket Racing. Select. Yes. Quests. And if I go into Inferno Island, yeah, week 1 would have a jam track here. You have to do all the quests. It probably takes about 2 hours of grinding. It's really long, considering that you just want the track, especially if you're like not a rocket racing person. For me, I only play rocket racing to get the Battle Pass experience because it's an easy grind to do the dailies. You can do them maybe in like 10 minutes and get like almost a level's worth of experience or something like that. So that's a thing. Um, yeah. I guess let's go to the silver linings and the good stuff. Uh, they finally updated ranked to be quite close to what competitive is like. So that's a massive W because that's something I've been complaining about probably quite close to when ranked dropped because playing basically pubs with sweaty matchmaking where again when it started you could have been queued up for like 11 hours. I saw people do that. That was BS. But nowadays it's basically like a scrim mode with a ranking system. Maybe the idea of pretty much instantly going from gold lobbies to going to basically the same matchmaking as Unreal is a little bit insane. It becomes quite a grind to get your ranks up as you level up. Um, or if the team you're playing with is way ahead of you, because basically like diminishes the score you get. You have to play really well and you have to be extremely consistent to like get to Unreal. I haven't gone to Unreal yet this season. There were plans for it, but let's just say the person I was planning to play ranked with had some real life stuff pop up, so we just didn't play as much. We played initially, then I grinded a little bit on my own just to stay in shape as I was playing the tournaments. Yeah, the W that I mentioned before being the only basically one major bug in the game, which is unlike other summer seasons. I mean, for example, let's consider, the wilds. You had a mud glitch. It was quite fun to do, but it was basically a glitch. They dropped it without any mobility, and basically they used it as a moment of clarity to say, hey, maybe we need a split up loot pool where zero build gets mobility because zero build without mobility is like, oops, I got cut out in the open. Guess I'll die now. You literally cannot do anything without mobility in BR, and the map design wasn't helping that either. Uh, it was a little bit rough around the edges. Chapter 3, Season 3 for me, there was like one whole update. It was probably at least 3 weeks where I would pretty much crash every game. When I was playing back then I was playing on GeForce Now. That absolutely sucked. I hated it, but it's over now. And the biggest W, the solo cash cups. They were quite fun to play. I qualified at least once. Wasn't doing that hot in the second round, but more of that, please, Epic. Solo cups are nice. I don't have to worry about finding someone who will actually play with me and not cop out at the last minute because that's really annoying to deal with. And on top of that, I get to basically play by myself. If I mess up, it's on me. There's no blaming your teammate. Oh, you didn't listen to the AGL or whatever. Uh, and there weren't like any technical issues in Chapter 4. There were some seasons where I would have players basically crash out of uh, tournament lobbies, which really sucked because that's just depriving you of points. Um, and the rules are it doesn't matter if there's a technical issue, we will not rerun the games there. It will have to be a major, major thing where pretty much no one can play. That happened in OG, for example, where they had to extend some of the tournaments in some regions. But yeah, overall, I would say summer season. I don't like some of the trends where the game is going, especially like the milking of the content. Basically, middle-aged men catering to themselves, and I mean the Disney event I already mentioned, which is basically, hey, here's a theater, you can watch this live stream or a pre-recorded version of it once it's done. It's just boomers complaining, oh, people like kids don't care about Disney characters. They only care about them if they pop up in the Fortnite. Let's put more of them in there. Like, oh wow, this is an internet computer live stream thing. People are watching this in Fortnite right now. How cool is that? And it's like, yeah, bro. Like, what do you think is the target audience of Fortnite? Do you think that the target audience of Fortnite is gonna care about a thing that you enjoyed 30 years ago or something? They won't. They will simply not care about that stuff. So, yeah, that is the thing. And I don't think I am quite exactly in the intended demographic for Fortnite, but it just feels so out of place. It feels like it's basically a bunch of executives trying to please their egos, to put it nicely, rather than actually making something that people would want from my reading of the situation. I might be wrong, but I think they are wrong. And yeah, that's basically it. Again, some rare W's, but they are basically silver linings. And the season was trash, but it wasn't quite as bad as Wilds in terms of balancing, or as bad as vibing in terms of game-breaking glitches. 21.30 is basically like a trauma for me. Just that whole update, all the glitches, all the crashing, all the issues, and the game just having a trash meta as well. I mean, this meta is oh wow, you put a combat shotgun with the new ballistics in. Oh wow, that's literally the only thing that matters, like at all. Oh, and you put snipers into the game again, just so just so we don't forget that snipers are a thing. Hey, make sure you're paranoid with your movement because you can get one tapped at any moment. That sucks. There were so many sniper metas that having that break was nice, but nah, nah. Screw you. Screw variety in the game, which is nice. Screw good game design. We're gonna put the cars in Fortnite and make a whole season revolve around them, and then have to nerf them because ramming ramming cow catchers into builds isn't totally gonna break the game, and it's not like this is basically the mentality that they had back in the day before zero build to nerf builds for players who aren't like into building. Again, it feels like the new team is just doesn't really get what Fortnite is about.